Salute. Zum Wohl. Prost. Come in, sit down. Let's have a chat. Let's talk. Okay, I'll be the one talking because unfortunately, this right now is strictly one way. I prefer conversation, but we'll talk. As I was preparing this, just because it's a day that ends in Y, and I have some thoughts to communicate, to share, whether or not anyone's listening, my thought is simply put, do you consider, do you contemplate, do you, hmm, let me think about that. Let me walk that through. Do you, in your own mind, it can be all internal, do you kind of take it around on a journey to see if what your initial reaction is what you still think when you add these other elements that you actually know and understand? And do you end up after all of that journey in the same place in terms of how you think or how you view it? This is just so very general. So many people today, maybe it was so before, but it's not as wasn't as obvious because we didn't have the immediate social media projections. It's not the right word, but we didn't have all of that. And we also didn't have this media that is driven by dividing and distorting. That's a secret. They don't want you to know that that's what they do. They are looking to get clicks and views, subscribers and watchers, commenters. They make comments, they present things with no journalistic standards or integrity. They do it so that their numbers will be high. In the old days, they didn't do that because they knew most people would say, you're not reliable, you're not trustworthy. You're churning spin. I can get that anytime I want, but I actually want to understand this. I want to think for myself. I want to consider. I want to know what's going on, and I want to have it presented to me in a way that here it is. Anyone can look. You're not going to have a full picture, of course, but you're going to have a pretty good picture. Today, that's not what we have. And to my utter and complete bafflement, we have seemingly the large majority of people who do not question their own sources. And simply put, they don't question their sources because they like what they hear. My simple challenge to you, do you hear me say simple? It's not simple. To me, it's simple because you got to make it make sense. You got to prove it. You got to support it. You got to have some logical connection. You've got to have all of this. It's not even, don't even bring any of that with me. I already know what that is. It begins with the word P. It's a long word, but I already know what it is. However, before we even get there, are you looking to go, okay, how'd you get there? What's your support? You're pushing conclusion onto me, but you haven't even framed it with benchmarks, with supportable pillars. You have now built this platform. Even if I like what I hear, that's just a story. I like what I hear. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is a story. I like it. It's a good story. Until Disney gets a hold of it, and then it's Snow Brown and the seven Wokeites. And if I weren't a person who used my own brain, I would just go along with that. But since I know that Snow White is referencing her skin, and that Snow Latinx, who can't see herself in anything unless she sees people who look like her, even though when she was a kid, she saw herself in that story because there are even pictures to show that she loved the story, even though she didn't see anybody who looked like her. And oh, by the way, she's a Latinx. What does that mean for all the black girls? They can't see themselves in this story. So, of course, they can see themselves in the story because imagination does not require skin tones. I actually forgot where I was going with that. That Snow Brown and the seven Wokeites just is infuriating. That the presentation is, I can't see myself unless I can see myself. I can't see myself in it. Stop with all of that. Stop it. Stop it. Children are much smarter than you. Children do not require lessons in racism unless you want them to be racist. And you woke Latinx, Black Lives Matter racists want these children to be racists, just like the KKK wants these children to be racists. Sorry, go ahead and comment if you're going to challenge me. But go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Here we are. Do you consider what's presented to you? And do you say, make it make sense? Support it. Show how you got there. Yeah, I'll consider it. Of course, I'll consider it. I respect you. I think you've got some things that are worth listening to. But you have to support it. You can't just throw all these projections like a 15-day-old rotten egg. No. Do you think for yourself, or do you react Pavlovian dog reaction the way the legacy media wants you to react? Do you think for yourself? Here's to those of us who think for ourselves. And here's to those of us who know that we don't have all the answers. We might think for ourselves, that doesn't mean we have all the answers. But here's to those who actually recognize that we don't have all the answers. So we continue to explore, we continue to consider, we continue to listen to people who don't say exactly what we want to hear, so that we will pick up things that no, we don't have all the answers. If you think you have all the answers, I didn't salute you with that. I did that so that I could get through this. If you think you have all the answers, don't. So here we are. Just a quick challenge, just a quick thought. Do you think for yourself? Do you push yourself to listen to people who don't say exactly what you want to hear? And do you listen without arguing everything they say? Because I know some people who will listen, but while they're listening, they argue everything. No, that's not listening. Don't pat yourself on the back. Do you listen and consider, contemplate, go, well, if nothing else, okay, I do understand where you're coming from. I don't share it because of this. Because of this, I think you're missing this, but I do understand that. Do you do that? We need people who do that. Are you on the side of the thinking people, questioning people, considering people, contemplative people, or are you part a Pavlovian recipient and participant in the legacy media, stoking you into reaction? Excuse me, that forces your brain to shut down. Make a comment below. Comment, like, subscribe. Come on. I want people to see this. I want people to join in. I want there to be more conversing, more discussion. I want this. This is why I'm doing this. Well, I'm really doing it because I'm about to lose my mind for the terrible damage and destruction to this country that's being done by the wokeites, by the liberal progressive Democrats. But I want there to be discussion and dialogue. Join me, please. Let's go. Son of Liberty 2020, liberty2020 at gmail.com, thelibertyhub.com, taverntalks.locals.com. See you next time.